Hi there, I'm Andy Hillier and today's guitar lesson is going to be Off My Face by Justin Bieber. It's off his new album, it sounds great, nice bit of guitar playing on it. Just before I teach you it though, if you wouldn't mind subscribing to my channel, which is Andy Hillier, give me a like on the video, leave me some comments in the comment section including any songs you want to learn. And if you want to print the tabs off for this and you want to support me, keep me doing these videos, I've got a Patreon page, I'll leave a link to that in the description down below. We've got three parts that we need to learn. We've got a verse part, which is also the intro, and then a chorus part, and then a middle 8 as well. Guitar's in standard tuning. Now the first line of the intro, which it repeats round and it's in the verse. We'll see what happens in a second. But so the first line slowly goes like this. So for that, I've got my first finger on A7 and my third finger across D, G and the B strings at the 9th fret. If you struggle to bar with your third finger, you could use 3 other fingers if you wanted to. Use your second, third and fourth fingers. I'm going to use it with my third finger flat though. So this is the first chord, which is an E chord, and we're going to play the A string and the B string at the same time. And then my thumb's going to go down to the D string, so it goes, and then play the B string on its own, and then your thumb again on the D string. So bar 1 goes. Bar 2, your little finger goes on to B10, and you're going to play it at the same time as playing the A string, and pull it off to the 9th fret. So you got, and then your thumb goes down and plays the D9, then you play the B9 again, and then the D9. So bar 2 slowly. So bars 1 and 2 together. On to bar 3, we're going to play a flat chord. Bar all your strings at the 4th fret. Second finger on G5. Little finger on D6. And we play the E string and the B string at the same time. And then the D and G strings, and then we're going to play the B string and then the D string. So bar 3 you've got, and then we're going to take our second finger down to the B string, still barring the first finger at the 4th fret, and we play B5 at the same time as playing the E string, and then pull off to the 4th fret. So you get, then play the E string again, play the G string at the 5th fret, so your second finger moves back up to the G string, play the B4 and then the E4. So bar 4 goes. So the whole line slowly goes. And a bit faster. On to the second line, it sounds like this. So for that, we're going to start with a D flat minor chord, which is your first finger on A4, second finger on B5, third finger on D6. And that's all we need to put down, and we're going to play the B string and the A string at the same time. Then move your thumb down to the D, back to the A, then the B string on its own, and then the D string. So bar 5 you've got. And then we're going to do a little hammer on pull off with your little finger on the B string at the 7th fret. So you play the 5, hammer onto the 7 and play pull off back to the 5 at the same time of playing the A string. So you get, and then play the D string, the A string, the B string on its own, and then the D string. So bar number 6 goes. So bars 5 and 6 together go. And then to bar number 7, it's kind of like the first chord we did, but it's a B-shaped chord now. So first finger on A2, third finger across D, G and B strings at the 4th fret. Then you play the A string and the B string at the same time. Then the D, B and then D, so bar 7 goes. And then that same kind of pull off that we did on the E chord. So you play the A string, little finger goes on the B5, pulls it off to the B4. And then play the D, G, A, B and D. So bar 8 goes. So the whole line slowly goes like this. So those first 2 lines make up the intro, but also it's going to repeat round to that and play that in the verse as well. So the first 2 lines for the intro, and then the next line is where the singing starts in the verse. And it's the same kind of idea, but the picking, it's the same chords, but the picking's just slightly different. Let me play the first line of this verse. It goes. It's slightly weird the way he's played that. So it starts with that E chord, and you play the A string, and then you play the D string and the B string at the same time. A, G, then D, and then B. So bar number 9 goes. And then bar 10, you hold that same chord, and it's weird not to play the root note on bar 1, but it plays the G string, and then the A string, D, G, and then A string. So it goes. Which sounds a bit weird, but that's what he's doing in it. So bars 9 and 10, the first 2 bars of that line go. Into bar number 11. So bar 11, going back to that A flat chord. So you're holding it down, play the E string and the B string, then the G and the D string at the same time. And then B to the D, that same pull off that we did before. In fact, those 2 bars are the same as bars 3 and 4 on the first line, so hopefully they should make sense. So bars 11 and 12 go. So it's exactly the same, so the whole line slowly goes. And then the next line, again, is pretty much the same as the second line. So it goes, slight change. You play on the second hit. So bar 1 is slightly different. You play the A4, so it's got the D flat minor chord that we had before. Play the A string, and then play the D string with the B string. That's the only little change. So that's bar 13. Bar 14 is the same as what the second line was. And then the last 2 bars are slightly different. So it's all based around the same theme. So bar number 15, play the A string and then the B string at the same time for a B chord. Then play the D4, A2, B4, and then the D4. So bar 15 goes. Then that same pull off from 5 to the 4 with the A string at the same time. Then D4, G4, A2, B4, and then D4. Once you've done that line, it then repeats all the way back to the beginning and plays the intro, but it's playing that and he's singing over it at the top of it. So basically you play the first 4 lines straight through, and then that takes you to the chorus, and it sounds like this. So for that we're playing open A, G2, E, and then B2, and then G2. So you got then the B chord, and you play the A string, the D string, the B, the G, and then the D. So you got, and then we go, which is playing A7 and B9 at the same time. Then play the D9, then A6 and B7 at the same time. Back to the D9, so bar number 19 you got. Then go down to 4 on the A string and 5 on the B string at the same time. D6, and then down to 2 on the E string and 4 on the B string, and then D4. So bars 19 and 20 go. So the whole line of the chorus slowly goes. And that repeats around 3 times, and then on the 4th time it goes to this next line, which is so for that we're playing the A chord, play the A string, the G2, E, B2, and then the A string, so bar number 21 goes. And then into bar 22, you keep your fingers in the same place, play the A string at the same time as the E string, then A, B, A, E, A, so bar 22. And then it goes to the B chord and you play the A string again, B, A, first finger barred so it hits that E2, back to the A string, and then the B4, so bar 23 goes. And then it hits A2, B4 and open E at the same time. So that line goes. And then it repeats all the way back to the beginning and plays the first 4 lines but doesn't repeat. Does the chorus round 3 times, then it does that line that we've just done. And then that takes us to the middle 8. Now there's 2 lines of the middle 8 and the first line sounds like this. So for that, first finger's barred across the 4th fret from the A string downwards, and we need a finger on B5, and you play the A string and the E string at the same time, then the B5, the A4 and then the E4. So that bar goes 2, and then into the next bar we play the A4 and the E4 at the same time, then up to A6 and B7 at the same time. So just put the first 2 bars of that line together. It goes. Then to the E chord we play the A string and the E string together, then D, G, A, and then B. So, and then in the next bar we play the A7 and the D9 at the same time, then up to A11 and B12. Almost there. The last line of music we've got to learn goes. So you're playing this next bar, which is bar 29. D7 and E9 at the same time, then E11, E9 and E7. So it's back to an E chord in bar 30 and play the A7, G9, A7, E7 and G9. So bar 30 goes. And then it goes to first finger flat on fret 4 on from the A string downwards, and play the A4 and the E4 at the same time. Then E5, E4, B7. To the B chord you play the A2, D4, A2, and then E2, and then G4 at the end. So that last line of music goes. Okay, and that's the whole of the middle 8, and then it just goes back to the chorus of the song. Well, hopefully you've enjoyed this little guitar lesson. If you wouldn't mind subscribing to my channel, which is Andy Hillier, give me a like on the video, leave me some comments in the comment section, including any songs you want to learn. If you love what I'm doing and you want to print the tabs off for this, it might make it much easier, then just go to my Patreon page. All money just helps support me do these videos and keeps me going. Thanks for watching this. I've been Andy Hillier, and I'll see you next time.